and he's going to house it.
It's amazing. Absolutely amazing.
What's going on, everybody, and welcome to another Angle of Pursuit podcast, your fantasy football, sports betting, and NASCAR home. I'm your host, Kyle Robert. You follow me on Twitter at NotoriousKRO. With me to break down week 4 in our best bets is Brian Twining. What's up, Brian?
Hey, Kyle. Yeah, man, I'm excited to get into this week because last week was not the best of weeks for me in terms of player props. My 4-leg parlay hit again, so I'm excited to bring that to everyone once again this week.
Yeah, I'm pulling up our bet tracker for the season. I'm 11-7. You're 10-9. You went heavy. You got your teaser. You got your Falcons, Giants under. You got a loss in the Cardinals. You got a loss with Dan Arnold, who I thought might get another touchdown tonight, but did not, at least as of yet. Tyson Williams, not so much. Najee Harris, that was a good call. All receptions, not a lot of rushing yards. Kind of a mixed bag for sure. I hit MVS on the over 34.5.
That'll be the last MVS bet for a while.
I might go back to it. Dude's getting a lot of air yards. Didn't hit Jameis rushing prop or Jared Goff's, but I did hit Trevor Lawrence and Daniel Jones. And, we're recording this at halftime of the Jacksonville-Cincinnati game, Brian. I'm thinking Trevor Lawrence over-unders from a rushing prop perspective should be hammered until they adjust it aggressively.
Until the books adjust the market.
Yeah.
I think today's was 16.5 yards. I mean, with this guy's legs,
under like 20 yards is probably a smash.
Yeah.
Hit the Chargers, hit the Dolphins, lost the Seahawks as my best bet, lost the Bears. So mixed bag of results for me. Definitely not the week I want. Make sure you're heading over to fakepickskin.com where Aaron Marcotti and I do a picks column as well. I'm 8-3 over there, Brian, so I'm feeling pretty good about those picks over there. We got lots to get into. I got a bunch of week 4 picks. I got some props. We got our best bets. You obviously have your teaser. There's a lot to get into. So let's just start from the jump. I love Baltimore getting 1 point this week at Denver. I don't understand. Like, I know the Ravens almost lost to Detroit, and they probably should have if Justin Tucker wasn't
a god.
Yeah, but like Denver's schedule thus far leaves a lot to be desired, and as much as I like what they're doing and where they're headed and the way their defense looks, and they're losing receivers left and right, I think Baltimore is good enough. To go to Denver, I believe. Yes, go to Denver.
Yeah, to Denver.
It's actually, you can even get it at 1.5 some spots. So I like Baltimore quite a bit this week.
Yeah, I couldn't agree with you anymore on this spot here. Baltimore's getting healthy on the defensive side of the ball. They're getting both their defensive tackles that missed last week with an injury and a COVID situation, Brandon Williams, and I forget the other guy's name. But they're getting healthier on the outside. Rashad Bateman and both Miles Boykin got activated off of the PUP list or whatever the hell you want to call that. So there's a chance that they return this week, which should open up this passing offense and help me hit my Lamar over passing touchdowns prop, which is started off very slow.
Freaking Hollywood Brown stops dropping wide open touchdowns. We would be feeling a lot better.
Like you said, I mean, when you look at Denver, although I think Denver is a legit team, I mean, look at their schedule. They've played Houston and the New Yorks. I mean, none of their opponents.
Those could be 3 of the 5 worst teams.
Yeah, exactly my point. And yes, say what you will about Detroit, but we talked about this in week 1. They are going to be one of those teams that gives everyone problems. They're just going to be there at the end of the day, and they're just going to be literal knee biters throughout the
They
should
have gotten blown out by San Francisco, but they came back even though in a game
hung in there.
Teams could easily get rid of it. They held with Green Bay for about a little over a half, and then obviously that game fell apart, and then went toe-to-toe with Baltimore. Those are 3 of the best teams. I mean, from a Super Bowl championship odd, like those are 3 of top 6 or 7
Yeah.
teams in all of the betting odds. So I think it says a lot about who Detroit is and who and I think Baltimore reminds everyone who they are. It's first half time. These haven't gone great for you, Brian. You're going back to the well. Talk to me about the Buffalo Bills in the first half.
Well, I'm going to use the Buffalo Bills as like a weekly play until they prove me wrong or until I'm proven wrong. Last week, I loved them. I know I teased them, but I liked them against the line regardless, all the way up to double digits against Washington. They proved me right there. And they haven't even hit their stride yet in the passing game, which it should be scaring the hell out of the NFL once Josh Allen kind of gets back to form and Stephon Diggs starts to find his form. Like, this offense is going to be legitimately scary, especially now that they got Zach Moss rolling with the changeup of Devin Singletary.
Yeah,
like,
Zach
this
Moss,
is a dangerous
that's
team.
the game changer right there. That's going to open up the whole offense.
But no, like, this is a very scary team. And Houston, they stand absolutely no chance against this Buffalo pass defense, which even with them dealing with injuries in the back half, they are not going to be able to keep pace with this team.
Nope. And the Bills are a team that traditionally, when they win against these garbage teams, they win
them.
and they crush. Yeah, 35-0, 47-13, that kind of stuff. So I like the first half line. I like the whole game line. I like the Bills a lot. I was trying to convince myself the Texans were the side earlier in the week, but they clearly aren't. I'm gonna go back to the well with the Chargers.
Love this.
I know they're coming home from Kansas City off of a huge win against a division rival. And if this was Detroit or Cincinnati or Jacksonville or Houston, I might be like, let's take the other side because they're not gonna play up to the competition. But this is a Raiders team in division who is also 3-0, and for a division that looks like it has 4 legitimate teams, maybe not. At the end of the year, I think everything will kind of adjust the way it needs to. But all 4 of these teams are going to be good, are going to be competitive, are going to fight for a borderline playoff spot. These are key games. I think the Chargers have really turned the corner. I think their offense is taken humongous strides. It's amazing. It's almost like having a good offensive line makes quarterback play a little bit easier. And Mike Williams as the Michael Thomas role, and there's just a lot to like. I know the Raiders are 3-0, but they played 2 overtime games.
Miami had every shot in the book to win that game last weekend.
Yeah, and if they're gonna run, if the Raiders are gonna run Peyton Barber 20 times, the Chargers are gonna cover this number. So I will back the home team minus the 3.
Yeah, well, I mean, pseudo home team. This will probably be a pro Raiders crowd.
Yeah, that's true.
LA.
As
However,
somebody who went to a San Diego Raider game,
I went to numerous as a kid.
It's quite an experience.
Yeah, to say the least. This is kind of scary, but yeah, I love the Chargers this week. We talked about this preseason. They were one of my long shot Super Bowl picks for this very reason. The defense is fairly healthy right now. I mean, Derwin James is banged up again, but I think that's just them being very precautious.
Mm-hmm.
This offense looks so much more dynamic under the tutelage of Staley and Michael Lombardi using Mike Williams in the role that he should have been playing his entire career there. And then Austin Eckler's fully healthy. I don't think the Raiders are going to know what hit them on Monday Night Football here. And the Chargers are going to solidify themselves as a legit contender in the AFC.
This isn't, the corpse of Big Ben. This isn't Jacoby Brisket. This isn't, Lamar sprinting around. This is a real quarterback who's going to challenge them deep, take some shots. And I think he's going to have a field day. And, 44% of the bets and 80% of the money are on the Chargers for whatever impact you think that has. Seattle Seahawks heading to San Francisco, getting full 3. Talk to me about your crazy thoughts here.
Oh, this is just one of those matchups where every time the Seahawks and the 49ers have played in recent times, these games have either been overtime games or one possession games where the team that possessed the ball last wound up winning the game. And I think that this is just going to be another one of those instances where Seattle, for their lack of defense, is able to kind of stay in this because San Francisco's beat up at the running back position. They're really only able to use Debo right now. George Kittle is in danger of missing this game. He's dealing with some issues already with I think a knee or an ankle. So I really like Seattle getting the points in this divisional rivalry game where these two teams always play really closely contested matchups. So that's why I'm taking the 3 here.
I'm all over San Francisco. I think they're a better team. I think they're the home team. I think they're hitting their strides. They should have beat Green Bay last week, and if they did, they'd be even bigger favorites. Seattle's coming in. They can run the ball. They have DK, who they finally unlocked, but Tyler
Lockett is
there. We go. That's the
in
word.
Danger of missing.
Not looking good. It looks like Gerald Everett's going to miss. So a lot of Will Dissly. I feel like. As somebody who's heavily invested in this back and forth, and obviously have a lot of family members on the Niners side of the ball, I feel like the Niners always go to Seattle and play well, and then the Seattle comes to San Francisco and plays well. But I think this is a good spot for the Niners. I think they're a good team, and I think they're going to be 3-1 after this game and cover this number. So it did dip to 2.5 in a lot of spots, and then went right back to 3. You can still get it at PointsBet at 2.5, if minus 120 if you really want that number. But I think if you're a little patient, I think you can find a 2.5 sometime between now and Sunday. And if you're like Brian, you like Seattle, take that full 3. And we'll see. I'm very excited just to watch this game. I think it's going to be compelling.
Let me just hit you with Seattle's won 4 of the last 6 times, and only once in a game that they didn't win was it in a game where the deficit was more than 3 points. It was 5 points. Yeah. So Seattle and San Francisco play really close games. So I'm going to take the points if it's above the field goal in these matchups.
100%. It's ping pong season. I am taking the New York Giants plus the 7.5 versus the Saints.
This is just your Daniel Jones love here. This has got to be what it is.
This is fade the Saints when they're getting too many points, and back the Saints when they're not getting enough. We backed them in week 1, got a W. We faded them in week 2, got a W. Backed them in week 3, going to New England. Guess what? Got a W. Now it's time for them to go home. Welcome Daniel Jones and his mighty band of misfits. 7.5 is just too much. I think the Saints win. I think it's probably a comfortable win, but it's like 3 or 4 points. It's not 7.5.
Yeah, and there's like a back door or something.
So I think Saquon Barkley, Evan Ingram, Kenny Golladay.
Yeah, if Evan Ingram could catch the ball, he is now stone hands. I mean, what is going on in the NFL this year?
I don't know. Evan Ingram has gone from a guy that would always get hurt but was awesome when he played to a guy that plays all the time and
he just can't catch the damn ball.
Hasn't been great. But I think the Giants are progressing, even though Joe Judge is a doofus and he'll probably be one of the first coaches fired. I think this is a competitive game. I think it's an interesting game, and I think the Giants cover this number pretty easily. I will hit you with another, as I think the Washington football team. This game, I'm excited. I told you when we talked on Monday.
Yeah,
love Washington when they were getting 2.5. Now they're 1.5 point favorites. The line's moved significantly through 0. I'm still gonna back it just because I was so strong, but that kind of aggressive movement does give me a little bit of the heebie-jeebies. But I just think. I think Atlanta is such a mess on both sides of the ball. I think Washington can run the ball here. I think their defense will be better as bad as they've been so far. And that front four is just too good to be this bad. So basically a pick 'em. I will take Washington even on the road against the Falcons.
Yeah, I mean, this is when you look at the aforementioned Giants. I mean, Washington struggled with New York and then wound up getting victorious against that mess. And then Atlanta, I mean, what are they doing over there? I mean, it's like they've lost their identity and they don't even know what they're trying to do at the running back position. They don't know how to utilize Kyle Pitts yet. This is probably a spot where I was more comfortable getting points with Washington. It's hard to 100%. Lay the points on the road with the Tyler Henke.
Yeah, there's booty chatter that Kyle Allen might get some look because Ron Rivera's annoyed
Oh.
with Taylor Heineke, which after the one playoff game where everyone wanted to give him like a 10-year contract, I think things are kind of figuring out why he's has that
he's a
bounce back.
backup. He's a backup. Like,
Yeah. Let's hit your teaser because
yeah.
everybody's here for Brian's teaser of the week. Brian, who's on your teaser this week?
All right. Well, I don't know if this is going to pay off because he doesn't have anybody to throw to, but I'm teasing down the Titans. I teased it down to 1.5. The line is down to 7. You can get it at a point right now. I still have faith that the Titans are better than the Jets, right? No matter how bad Tennessee's defense is or whatever. Like, Derrick Henry should run for 300 yards if needed in this game to have the Titans win this game. Going back to that Baltimore-Denver matchup, I do think that Denver's defense is good enough to limit what Baltimore does on offense and vice versa. I do think that what Baltimore wants to do on defense is going to be able to stop Denver, especially with them getting healthier on the defensive line. So I teased this up to 50. So I got this at under 50, Denver and Baltimore. And then I went with the primetime games. Sunday night, you'll see a trend here. I teased Tampa down to a 0.5 point. I'm sorry. I'm going with the public. I saw a graphic today. It's like 98% of bets at BetMGM.
98% of bets,
Tampa,
90% of money are on Tampa. I will be betting New England in this game. I'm just waiting to get the best number possible.
I just think that this is a spot where you are going to see one of those classic 2007 Patriots, like undefeated teams. Brady's going to want to throw for 8 touchdowns. So getting them at a 0.5. Yes, please. And then the Monday night game, Raiders Chargers, over 46.5. I do think that Oakland, Las Vegas's defense, they will not be able to stop, this new high-powered Chargers offense. Mike Williams, Keenan Allen, Austin Eckler, Justin Herbert, and then vice versa. As good as the Chargers are, I think what the Raiders have shown is that they want to go down the field, and there will be spots where they can hit big plays with Darren Waller and all those receivers. So I teased this down to 46.5.
I like it. I like it a lot. I'll let you continue because you're all over Brady and the Bucks this week. So keep those bets rolling.
Yeah. So I'm taking Tampa -6 in the first half. This was plus money when I got in on it. I think, like I said, I think this is going to be quickly in hand for Tampa Bay. I like Tampa's first half team total over 13.5. I'm sorry, but 13.5 for Tom Brady and the Buccaneers, like, get out of here. I got Tampa's team total 27.5. This team just continues to put amazing points on the board and tons of yardage. And the Patriots defense is not the Rams. And Brady still threw for over 4 bills last week. And then I got the Bucks at -5.5 when the line first dropped. It's nowhere near that right now. I'm sorry that nobody, or that a lot of people are now having to get that at over a touchdown, which we talked about this, and we said that was going to happen. It's at a touchdown.
Make sure you join us each and every Tuesday.
Yeah.
We break down the initial lines. We talk about the things we're already betting. We're talking about the injuries and the other stuff that are impacting why these lines are moving and what they're doing and what to think about. Because Brian and I are there each and every week, and we try, with Washington and with Tampa Bay, we try and get the best of those numbers for you. So the sooner you join us, the sooner you get those numbers, and the sooner you could hopefully cash some bets. Because the more you're hitting good numbers, the better chances of winning each and every week.
Yeah, and that's the thing too. A lot of times betting isn't necessarily picking a team that you want to win. It's finding the value in a number that is posted that the book has mispriced.
And if you're waiting till Sunday morning, you're missing the best in the number.
Yeah, nope, that ain't gonna work.
I understand you're getting more information, but the NFL market is so precise that, like, if you wait that long, you've lost out on so much value that it's really hard to jump in and get the value and get the best number. You still may hit bets and you still may feel better about it, and that's how you want to do it. Good on you. But I am a person who tries to get the best of the number, and knowing that long term that's going to be the best for my win-loss record, for my bankroll, and for my bank account.
Yeah, no, I look ahead lines and trying to grab the number at the right price.
Yep.
Definitely is probably something as I've matured as a bettor, it's more important than just betting.
And one of my favorite things to do each and every Sunday, sometimes Monday, but I try and do it on Sundays, is sit down, do my projected lines for the upcoming week, and then I look at what Vegas has or the sports books have, and I do some comparison. I find the games that I like the most. That's a lot of the times how I find value. I even got week 5 ready to roll, so I'm curious to see when lines drop on Monday where I'm at. I might reevaluate some of these lines after Sunday's results just to make sure I'm where I need to be. But yeah, I mean it's a great exercise. It's a good thought experiment, and it's just another way to approach these numbers. We get everything covered in here with your Brady, with your Bucks.
I got to add my
props.
Yeah, my Brady player props. His touchdown prop is at 2.5. Yeah. Just
let's keep the props rolling.
Just bet the over.
There's a few nice ones this week, Brian. Outside of Brady, do you have any that you're looking at?
Well, I mean, again, I think the Tyreek Hill thing, not scoring yet, is huge. Like he's a guy I'm going to bet him to score until it happens.
Yep. I also like Jacoby Myers, who has 104 receptions, the most ever for somebody who hasn't caught a touchdown. Something ridiculous. Mike Clay was tweeting it out. So
that's insane.
I'll pull that up in here in a second. I'm on Nick Chubb again, Brian. 77.5 yards against Minnesota.
Isn't that ridiculous?
Chris Carson ran all over him last week. Over Minnesota. I think Nick Chubb can absolutely do that. I'm going to the Quintez Cephas well, over 3.5 receptions. This is a guy who before last week saw 7 targets, 6 or more targets in 3 straight games. So I think he can get to 4 receptions. I will pull up touchdowns here. Let's see here. Receiving touchdowns. Oh, cool. Thanks, DraftKings. I don't need receptions. Let me pull up the FTN prop shop, which is a great tool. FTN bets. You can just type in whatever player you're looking for, and it'll give you based upon states. Let's see. Jacoby Myers scored a touchdown. If you're at FanDuel, it's plus 210. I like that a lot. PointsBet is plus 110. I don't like that quite as much.
No, that's really not
12 to 1 to score the first touchdown. Interesting numbers. Anything else you're looking at? I'm going to pull up my boy Marquez Valdez Scantling. No receiving yards yet. I think if he has a receiving yards total, I think less than 50, like 40, 45, I'd be very much on board with going back to the well there.
Well, I mean, I already talked about him a ton this year. Mike Williams, his yards prop is at 75.5. This Raiders team is very susceptible against the pass. He has become, if not 1B, possibly even the alpha of this passing offense for the Chargers. And if it is a competitive game, look for them to continue to feed him the rock, on the outside. And at 75 yards, he's averaging still, 12 yards of reception. It's only a few receptions. He pops one of those 20, 30 yard catches and he's right there. And he's getting over 10 targets a game. So,
yep. Gotta love it. Antonio Gibson's rush yard prop is 65.5. His longest rush is 15.5. I like the over on both those. I think he runs for close to 100 against Atlanta. Oh, that's weird. They didn't have your boy Zach Moss. They have Devin Singletary's rush prop. That's weird. Literally could have not have predicted that.
I will say
Jared Goff 6.5 after not getting it last week. I like that a lot.
I think that's going to be if Khalil Mack plays for Chicago, that's going to play into whether or not Goff is able to escape the backside. In that same game, Deandre Swift's receiving yards prop is at 35.5, 37.5. I think
Yeah,
that's
I
going to
like
be
I like
huge
both of
against the
his
Bears.
both of his rushing, both rushing and receiving. It sounds like he will be continually worked in more and more as the season rolls along. Zach Moss to score a touchdown plus 110 feels like pretty good money in a
Yeah.
game we expect them to crush. So, um,
I mean, and then your boy on your team, Derrick Henry's rushing yards prop. It's only
I like the
109 or
under.
112.
I like the under there. I think,
Seriously?
yeah.
Oh no, I would be smash betting this because this this game plan will be funneled through Henry.
So like in BetMGM, his prop is 112.5, and the under is minus 118. The over is minus 111. I like if you can get it at BetMGM or DraftKings where it's 112.5 or something around there. I like the under. I think he can probably get to 100 yards, but I think if they're crushing like we think they can, um, I think he has. I think he's out of the game, and I think the Jets, for as much of a mess as they are, their rush defense is actually not horrendous. So I think Derrick Henry is like 95 yards, a couple catches. Like I like to see as a receiving prop.
So so I don't think the books have quite adjusted to that. So I don't see them listed because they probably went, "Oh crap. He has 3 receptions in every game this year."
Yeah, I would be on the lookout for a Derrick Henry receptions, and if you can get like 1 or 1.5, I would love to smash the over.
Yeah, no, they are utilizing him in the passing game more than they ever have.
Yep.
He's I think on the year, I believe he has like 12 total receptions,
He's a
which
PPR machine now.
his
That's all
career
there is
high
to it.
is 19.
Yeah. No, he's going to smash that. Trying to pull up his game log here. Yeah, so through 3 games, 4 targets, 6 targets, 3 targets, 12 catches, 13 targets. Through averaging 4 receptions a game. That's like some Dalvin Cook, Alvin Kamara shit right there. That's
Yeah.
legit.
What's funny is I actually got into a debate with somebody on an app about him potentially being the number 1 pick in fantasy drafts, and they're like, "Oh, he doesn't get used in the passing game." And my argument was, but imagine if the rumblings of them trying to get him involved came to fruition, he would crush everyone else just because of how much they use him in the rushing game.
100%. If he's gonna get, what we've seen him get, 100 and something
Think
yards,
think about this.
and
If
he's gonna
he's
get 3 or 4 catches a game.
I was just gonna say if he gets to 50 receptions
Like he
with
could
how much
easily he could be 1750 and 40 to 50 receptions, and that's going to be the number 1 player in fantasy.
Oh yeah, without question, especially with McCaffrey missing time.
I picked a good year to get in on the big dog because I was never the Derrick Henry stan, but
Hey,
I
I've
got
always
in
been
when
a
everyone
big,
got out, and I'm feeling
but
great about it now.
yep.
All right, Brian. We talked some bets. We talked some odds. We talked some player props. It's time to lock it down. What is your best bet for NFL Week 4?
Well, I mean, I can't. I'm going all in on this. I'm going the Bucks. I got it at 5.5, so I'm saying that's my best bet.
No, you got to go with the current line, bro.
Fine, I'll take the touchdown. Whatever.
There you go.
The Brady bunch.
Tell you what, I'll give it to you at 6.5. You get less than a touchdown.
No, I'll take it at the 7.
Okay, take your 7. All right.
I'll take it at the current line, but yeah, I think this is the Brady show, and they prove that they are the cream of the crop.
I am going to ride the wave. I'm gonna bounce with the ping pong ball. New York Football Giants.
My gosh!
7.5 in New Orleans. Give it to me. Give me all those points. The Giants cover. Maybe they don't win, but they do cover. And I'm gonna hit another best bet, and I'm gonna be crawling ever closer to you, Brian. And yeah, so good luck on your bets. Let us know down in the comments what you're betting this week. Like I said, we'll be back on Tuesday to recap everything that happened, all the injuries, all this stuff. Take a quick look ahead, any lines that we're betting already now, and then we're back on Friday again to break down the best bets for Week 5. Brian, after this, we'll have a month of the season in the books. It's wild, it's crazy, but I loving every minute of it. That's Brian Twining. I'm Kyle Robert, and we'll talk to you guys next.